coffee, tablet, couch, robe, tripod, phone. You. Can't do the show without all of you. Otherwise, I'm just some weirdo talking to nothing. I've done that. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today is Thursday. It's March 25th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Good. Well, it's a big day. This is the. Did I mention? I think I mentioned once or twice that I have Invisalign now. I changed my trays this morning because it's been a week, and ooh, they are snug. Snug as a bug in a rug. Hopefully there's no bugs in my teeth. I feel silly this morning. Oh, what did we do yesterday? Went to the gym for the first time in a week. That was awesome. Made tasty food, watched TV, played video games, did a bunch of wonderful work. Really proud of the work that I did yesterday. Client work, and chipping away on this new website. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. In fact, this is one of those website projects, and many of you out there probably not made a website, but I bet you've done other projects that remind you of this, where the deeper you go, the more you realize there's, oh, I got to do this and this and this and this, and I got to do this and this and this and this. And then you do half of those things and you come up with twice as many as you just did. And that's kind of what's going on with this project. So I'm just trying to be patient and recognizing that there is a minimum standard that I need to reach before I launch it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect, but we keep getting closer and closer to good. And as I was telling another friend who's in the marketing world at the gym yesterday, I finally feel like the front page of this website doesn't suck. I don't hate it anymore. And I think we can make a comparison for that with martial arts, or probably with anything. You gotta start off terrible, and you slowly get better. But most of us never get past the terrible because, oh, we're terrible, let's just do something else. That's why most people spend all their time doing only the things that they're good at, but they don't even try to move forward. They just stay at the thing that they're good at, you know. When was the last time that somebody told you, here's a great example. When was the last time that somebody told you, oh, I make a great whatever. Let's say I make a great pumpkin pie. Oh, okay, cool. How long have you been making that pumpkin pie? Oh, for 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. When was the last time you tried to make it better? And they'll look at you like, what? It's good. Why would I try to make it better? So you believe you have the best pumpkin pie in the world. No. Why wouldn't you try to make a better pumpkin? If you already make a great pumpkin pie, why not try to make a even better pumpkin pie? I baked a loaf of bread last night, and I printed out this, when I started, I printed out the recipe. I don't know why I'm demonstrating what a recipe looks like. I printed out the recipe, and I made it as is the first time, and I took notes on the back. Oh, here's where I need to change this and that, because it didn't fully cook. There was a spot in the middle that was still a little bit soft. Okay. So I read the book and on the bread machine and took some notes, did it again, came out great. So I don't want to say I mastered, but I made the standard recipe really good. Okay. I was happy with it. Now I want to make it better. How do I make it better? Well, I'm trying to move in the direction of shifting this bread from just boring old flour to something that's higher protein. So how do I do that? So I started experimenting. And yesterday's version of the bread substituted liquid egg whites and powdered milk for milk. Came out really good. And now it's higher protein. Boom. That's what we're working on. Because I believe if you like something, if you want something to be good, why not make it better? If you're in a romantic relationship and you're not trying to make that relationship better, I think you're doing a disservice to you and your partner. If you're an employer and you're not trying to become the best employer you can for your employees, I think you're doing them and yourself a disservice. If you're an employee and you're not trying to deliver the most value you can to your company, whether to move up in that company or to leverage more money, the results into more money or benefits or whatever, or to give yourself a springboard to go to another company where you would get those things, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. But so many of us we get into this place where we're content because change is scary. You can't have growth without change, and change is scary. It doesn't have to be everything. It shouldn't be everything. Don't try to change everything all at once. What's one thing that would move the needle? What's one thing that would make you happier? What's one thing that you would look back on in 5 or 10 years and say, I'm really glad I did that? So what's going on today? That was a little bit deep for the opening, wasn't it? I don't usually go that deep in the morning, first thing. I usually wait for all of you to write something down that I read off, and then I go deep. Carpenter friends coming over today. We should be finishing up the shelves. Those are getting paint and putty. So those should be done today, and he's going to be out in the warehouse working on the renovations that we need so I can start filming up there. Because the filming that we've done up there doesn't look great. It doesn't. It's just, it's not great. So I am okay with painting, but I'm not great. So this is an opportunity for me to learn from him. And in between, there are other things that I'm going to be working on. I got a variety of projects. I got a couple calls this morning that I got to do. Pardon me. And it should be a pretty good day. And once the day's over, probably go to the gym. Windows should be open. It's supposed to be 70 degrees. I don't know if it's still supposed to be 70 degrees, but last I looked, it was going to be 7 degrees. It was going to be the first absolutely beautiful day of the year. And it's in March, and the snow is nearly gone. I'm looking at a few patches in the shade, but the snow is nearly gone, which is pretty crazy for March. This is Vermont. We don't usually have this happen. You know, it is Thursday, so let's see if the podcast episode is out yet. I do see my quotes from Frank, so thanks, Frank. Let's see what we got here. Oh, come on. It's not here yet? All right. Well, episode 591 will be out soon. We do have a plan for episode 600 that I'm really excited about. Leslie and I were messaging about that a little yesterday. And, you know, I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Leslie and Andrew for a couple of reasons. One, if you watch or listen to martial arts radio, you likely know who Andrew is. Andrew's the new co-host for Thursday episodes and does a great job. Really, really thankful for him and his friendship over the years. But he's been doing more behind the scenes. Things I never asked him to do. He just all of a sudden was like, okay, I'm going to help get guests, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And I think a lot of times people are afraid to step into a role and just kill it, and he's killing it. And what's been really interesting about that is that he's now working alongside Leslie in some of these things. And the two of them, you know, it's a 1 + 1 = 3 scenario. Leslie was already doing a wonderful job. And now, because the two of them are working on some of this stuff together, I have less that I have to worry about, which is great because I've got a little too much to worry about. And the quality of everything is moving up. It's allowing me to take a step back from the show and say, how do we improve this? How do we improve that? And I'm really stoked for that. There are a lot of good things coming. I am getting into a place with all the things going on where I can be a little more, the word I like to use is iterative. How do I make these improvements? How do I get 1% better? I saw something come out on our social media and I had an idea. What if we do this instead of that? And so I emailed Andrea. And I said, what if we do this instead of that? What do you think? We'll see what she says. Because I've got an awesome team, and I love working with them, and they make me better. And I try to make them better. And I try to be kind, and I try to be the best. I don't like the word boss, but I guess it's the right term. The best manager, director, boss, employer I can be. All right, let's move on. Remember, if you've got questions, comments, feedback, things like that, if you want to make them public, go ahead, drop them in the comments section below, and I'll read them on the next show, like I'm about to do, like Frank did, like Frank does always, because Frank's awesome. We love Frank. We do love Frank. Nope, that's spam. There we go. The adjustments that we've made to some of the back end stuff on our episodes, we are getting far more traffic. It is noticeable. It's when we put up episodes, they're doing better than they were, which is pretty cool. Still not as good as I'd like, but once the pandemic's over, I've got some ideas. There's some things that we're going to do, and I'm pretty pumped for them. All right. What does Frank have for us today? 4 quotes from someone that, you know what? Here is a personality that younger folk, and even I'm on the edge of this, don't fully appreciate. This person is known for one of 3 things. Is there a delicate way to say this? A musical career, being, well, when I say the name, you'll know. Musical career, this other thing, but people in their probably late 50s and up know that this person actually is pretty sharp and made an incredible career out of who she is. Dolly Parton. So what's the 3rd thing? I think we all know what the 3rd thing she's known for is. I'd rather not say it. And we've got 4 quotes here from Dolly Parton, courtesy of Frank. I count my blessings far more than I count my money. This is a theme that's been recurring for me over the last probably year. This idea of focusing on gratitude, focusing on what you are thankful for as a priority over everything else. There is a psychological element to it. There is a sociological element to it. The more grateful you are for what you have, for who you are, for where you're at, etc., one, the more people want to be around you. When people want to be around you, good things happen. You get opportunities. 2, you are more likely to remain positive. And anybody who has ever been in business knows that you do not make the best decisions when you are negative, scared, unhappy, fearful, etc. Count my blessings more than I count my money. If more of us did this, the world would be a better place. Your world would be a better place. And I keep catching versions of this in different ways. The Tony Robbins program I've been working on for a year. I'm probably about 2/3 of the way through it. Because I do a chunk and then put it down for a while and try to work on that stuff. My therapist on Monday said it in a different way. And here we have Dolly Parton saying it in a different way. What are you grateful for? What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for this awesome cup of coffee. I'm grateful for the life that I live, this wonderful house. I'm grateful for that annoying furball over there, who actually didn't wake me up with purring in the face this morning. That was nice. I'm grateful for the maple syrup cooking on the counter, the, my backyard. There's so many things that we all have to be grateful for. You just have to dig for them sometimes. But the more energy you put into that, ironically, the better everything else goes. The last few days, I've pulled more maple sap off the trees than I've been able to cook down. So I think I might have to save it up, and this weekend I might have to do an actual cook on the stove. Double boiler, that way it doesn't burn. I have a strict policy that nobody cries alone in my presence. I like that. A lot of us have trouble with empathy. I've talked about this quite a few times in various ways. I think a lack of empathy is the greatest problem that we have in society today. People don't know how to genuinely feel for others. And it doesn't necessarily mean feel bad. What happens when someone does something well or feels good about something? There's a tendency to tear them down. Crabs in a bucket, my favorite analogy there. What happens when someone's doing poorly? A lot of us have a tendency to distance ourselves from them. Nobody cries alone. We all deserve support. Now, the irony is, in that statement, I guess, is that it is not any one of our responsibilities, but it is collectively our responsibility to support each other. If you want to be part of society, this is part of the, as far as I'm concerned, the modernized social contract. Now, that's not socialism. That's not how I mean this. If there is someone that you claim to care about and they are hurting, help them. You can't help everyone. You can't help everyone every time. But when you know someone's hurting and you choose to do nothing about it, I think that says something. Now, over the last couple months, I've been going through a hard time. I've been pretty open about that. And there are people who have stepped up for me. But there have also been times that I've stepped up for others. Because there were points where I thought they needed me more than I needed me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to beat that one up anymore, because I think you get it. Just take care of the people around you. This one's fun. I'm not offended by all the dumb blonde jokes because I know I'm not dumb, and I also know that I'm not blonde. Oh, that's good. I've known a lot of blondes. Most of them were not dumb. Most people are not dumb. Why do we think? Why do we assume blondes are dumb? I'm guessing it's because we just you find what you expect. I've known some really smart blondes, men and women. I don't think we can generalize in that way. I don't think we can generalize hair color correlating to intelligence. I'm sure somebody out there has done a study. I wonder what it says. I'm not going to go look because I don't care. If you care and you look it up, let me know for tomorrow. That'd be interesting. Did I show you? I don't think I showed you guys. Oh, where's the spoon? The spoon's out there somewhere. So, here we'll take a hard left. I picked this up. I've been looking for a hobby beyond sitting in front of the TV, and I've tried a few things, and nothing has really stuck. But I picked this up not too long ago. It's a whittling knife. It's basically a Swiss Army knife of little tools that one can use for whittling. And so the first thing I made was a spoon. And it's functional. It works. It's not very attractive. But it was the first thing I made. And then I said, okay, I want to make a fork. And I said, how do I make the tines of a fork? So this was my practice, making the tines of a fork. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there we go. There we go. You can see there's a little bit of space in there. So I gotta find a piece of wood that's a little bit broader than that. Oh, did this split? I think it did split. Yeah, a little bit. So the idea is I sit outside and whittle, because apparently I'm a 70-year-old man. But it's fun. It's just an excuse to be outside and do something. I don't do well just sitting. And I don't do well doing things that are completely unnecessary. I can justify whittling because it's a skill. And I have hope this summer that, I go for a hike, and instead of hiking up and down, maybe I just sit at the top for an hour or two and whittle a stick into something. I don't know. Just force me to slow down a little bit. I did so little hiking this winter. Where did I go? Once? Twice? Did not hike nearly as much as I usually do, which is a bummer. But that's okay. And we've got one more quote. Remember, you got stuff you want me to talk about, drop it in the comment section once the show closes. I'll talk tomorrow. Oh, before we do that, let's see. Is it hit? It has not hit. Okay. You have to work hard in order to get anything done. Sounds trivial, but think about it. To get anything done. Not to do work, but to finish things. How many projects do you have going right now that are unfinished? How many do I have? Well, I've got the maple syrup's not done. These shelves aren't done. I've got a to-do list there that's not done. I've got to start planting seeds. That's a project that's not done. There are a lot of things that are undone. John's in the chat saying, I think people often live up to expectations of others. If they are constantly told that they should be one way because of the color of their hair, they will begin to act that way. I think you are right, John. There's a statement that gets kicked around. I hear it on podcasts. I don't know where it started or who to credit this to. But we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. And I don't know that the number necessarily matters, but the concept, I think, is pretty sound. The people you hang around with will dictate your lifestyle, what you get out of it. This is part of why I am trying to spend more time. This is I've mentioned the co-working space that typically I would be going to today, but these projects around the house with my friend. I'll be there tomorrow. And what's the biggest thing I get out of going there? I'm around other people who are in better financial shape than I am. They are more successful than I am. They have connections to other people, and I am trying to become part of those groups because that's where the opportunities come in. I love the people I know down here. I love my friends. I love the people that I know. But I don't want their lives. There's nothing wrong with their lives. but it's not what I want for me. And so I'm trying to spend more time with these other folks. If you have goals, whatever they are, martial arts goals, personal goals, professional goals, I don't care what it is. You've got to work. You've got to accomplish things. You've got to check those boxes off. You've got to find ways to continue to move forward and get things done. And if you want to become more than you are, you want to look around and make sure you're not the big fish in the pond. If you are, it is going to be really hard to grow. Context matters. The more you're around good people, the more good you're going to do. If you want to be a better martial artist, go somewhere and train where there are better martial artists than you. If you want to be great at, what's a good example? If you want to be a high-level competitive martial artist and you're the only person in your school who competes, it's going to be harder than if you spend some time training in a school where competition is core to what they do. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but it means you're going to have an easier time because of who you are around. There's a critical mass in those things, and there's context, there's nuance that is so incredibly valuable, and yet we don't seek it out. When I want to learn something or get better at something, I try to immerse myself in it. I subscribe to magazines on the subject. Yeah, magazines still exist, and they're still worth reading because they're around, the pictures are around you. I listen to podcasts on the subject because I pick up little things and I feel motivated. And it reminds me that I'm not the only person who is struggling to build a business and that there is an opportunity for success and that people are doing it. And I watch TV shows about it and I try to be around other people doing it. And I go to meetups and meetings and Zoom calls and whatever on the subject. If you're the only person around that can relate to something that you are passionate about, it's going to be really hard to stick with it. So remember that. Try to fix that. Hopefully, if martial arts is something you're passionate about, that you have goals around, that's part of why we do all the different things that we do. If you're passionate about martial arts, I get it. That's why we do this show. That's why we do martial arts radio. That's why we have the books that we have. That's why we write the blog articles. That's why we have the social media. If you want to become a passionate, dedicated, successful, whatever martial artist, that's why we give you all the things that we do. That's why we also offer the physical things, the shirts, the uniforms, the equipment, all the things that we can do. It's so you can immerse yourself in this world and know that you are not alone. Why? Because that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted as a teenager and in my 20s, and I struggled to find it. And so we are creating and will continue creating this platform that other people can find value in because martial arts is awesome. All right, it's time to go. Check out episode 591 when it drops. If you've got questions, comments, feedback, put it in the comment section below once the show closes. If you are new, remember we do the show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, live right here on YouTube. I'll catch it later. You can subscribe to it as a podcast. Just give a search for it. It's all over the place. If you want to pick something up to support us, something like the mug, shirts, whatever, go to whistlekick.com, use the code FIRSTCUT15 to save 15%. Or we've got a Patreon where you get bonus content. You can get in for as little as $2 a month and goes up from there. But we give you some behind the scenes and some extra audio, video, etc. So check that out. Thank you. Thanks for watching or listening. If you want to email me, it's jeremy@whistlekick.com. I appreciate you. Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow. Peace.